May the 1st on Friday, 2 adults will be able to go and visit anybody else in their home on the basis of care, on the basis of reducing socialisation and everybody's mental health. We know that for many people they've been cooped up in their homes for a number of weeks, and with the exception of exercising, medical needs or buying what they need to or going to work, many people have been isolated in their homes. I've used the word adults to say that obviously if you've got young children it's okay to take them with you, but a maximum of 2 adults will be able to visit anybody else. And certainly with the advent of school, increased retail activity, and now people being able to visit each other in their homes to reduce social isolation and improve mental health are 3 key areas which we expect to see increased activity during May.
Well, there you have it. New South Wales Premier Berejiklian announcing the first nascent steps in the gradual easing of COVID-19 restrictions over coming weeks and months. Hi, I'm Ross Barry and you're watching Coast Community News COVID-19 update for Tuesday, April 28. In her press conference this morning, the Premier said that in addition to the resumption of face-to-face classes in New South Wales schools from May 11, from this Friday, the 1st of May, restrictions will be eased to allow a maximum of 2 adults to visit another household for social or care reasons, with children permitted to come along. A key element of the National Cabinet's push to restart economic activity is the use of the federal government's COVID-19 app. David Abrahams will have more on that in a moment. But first, let's update the numbers. As at 8 p.m. on Monday, the Central Coast Local Health District has recorded 117 confirmed cases of COVID-19. That's basically unchanged for over a week now. Of these, 115 have been released from isolation and just 1 person now remains in hospital. There have been more than 8,200 tests carried out on the coast. We reported last week a confirmed case at the Centrelink call centre in Tuggerah, which led to the temporary and precautionary closure of the building. District Health confirmed today that there have been no more cases connected with the centre at this stage and that the office has since reopened. Let's go now to David.
Thanks, Ross. More than 2 million people have now reportedly downloaded the COVID Safe app that authorities hope will help prevent a resurgence in COVID-19 infections as people begin to restart their lives. The app uses, among other things, Bluetooth technology to essentially make a digital handshake with other phones, recording the date, distance and duration of contact. President of the Law Council of Australia, local lawyer Pauline Wright, said that the privacy settings of the app require scrutiny. The release of the app has raised some concerns about personal privacy. Ms Wright said some details about the use of data have not yet been provided by the government to support fully informed consent, and that the government has not yet made the source code available for public and independent audit, as has been previously indicated. Though member for Robertson, Lucy Wicks, assured everyone that a determination issued by the Federal Health Minister under the Biosecurity Act will ensure information provided through the app will only be used by authorised health officials, and that all information will be securely encrypted and only retained for 21 days. Ms Wicks said that the more people who download the app, the safer the community will be and the sooner we can get back to business. Now, another COVID-19 news. A 62-year-old Longjetty man has been fined after visiting a supermarket in breach of self-quarantine obligations issued by his doctor, while a 67-year-old local woman has been issued with a second $1,000 fine after being questioned by police at Gosford Railway Station after travelling from Newcastle with no reasonable excuse provided. It was later revealed she had been issued with an earlier $1,000 fine on April 18. And finally, Ross, the Central Coast Council met last night with councillors dialling into Zoom to discuss a fairly heavily packed agenda. One hot item on the agenda was a motion brought by Councillor Kyle McGregor to oppose a telecommunications tower planned for Alan Davidson Oval in Wyoming. That motion was supported unanimously, and that's something that will please locals and the member for the entrance, David Meehan, who campaigned against the tower. A second major point of discussion was how the Central Coast will position itself to pitch for its share of a $395 million funding package on offer from the state government. The package was announced by Parliamentary Secretary for the Central Coast, a member for Terrigal, Adam Crouch, earlier. Mr Crouch said the Central Coast Council was a major provider of employment in the region and said the funding would help safeguard jobs and support the delivery of important infrastructure. Now remember, council staff were not eligible for JobKeeper payment, and so the package includes $112 million for council job retention allowance of $1,500 per fortnight for 3 months, and $33 million fund for an emergency services levy for local councils for 2021, and access to a $250 million loan fund to support local infrastructure.
If we asked staff to give us an urgent report back on the last night's announcement so that we could get a full appreciation of the level of support the state's giving, and from your team looking at that, Gary, and then reporting to us, and then possibly bringing this to the next meeting to put together, some observations that you're going to be able to make in the next, week and a half, possibly. I mean, it is COVID territory. We need answers to this stuff very quickly. I'm having a terribly difficult time with job seeker and job keeper when it comes to apprentices. Let me tell you, there's a lot of devil in a lot of detail I'm staying awake at night figuring about. So Lisa, please don't get me wrong. I'm not having a go at this motion. I am genuinely saying, should we maybe now, in the light of this 24-hour announcement, that we now actually get you to come together with your staff, Gary, give us the information, give us the $390 million bottom line. What does it mean? Are we left in? Are we left out? What really does it mean to us? And then craft something, Lisa, for the next round.
And it would be remiss of us not to commend the council for not only an incredibly collegiate meeting, but also for an ongoing commitment to transparency by live streaming the meeting to the public. And while it was a long evening, we didn't catch a single councillor wearing pyjamas. Back to you, Ross.
Thanks, David. Motorists are advised of changed traffic conditions this week on the M1 for essential maintenance work to be carried out on the Mooney Creek Bridge. Work will be carried out between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. until April 30, and work will concentrate on southbound lanes from Wednesday. Up to 2 lanes will be closed in both directions while the work is carried out. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on Friday for our next 5 at 5 bulletin. And we leave you now with some tips on isolating Central Coast style, courtesy of bodyboarder and photographer Ben Buchanan.